and welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about tips to help you repair your car faster. This video is aimed for beginner mechanics learning how to wrench on their own cars. So you decide to work on your own cars. Great, congratulations. You're going to learn a lot about your own car while developing a great skill. I've been working on my own cars for a few years, and here are the tips I picked up to speed up my own work. Tip number 1. When starting off as a home mechanic, you're going to spend a lot of your time reading forums, articles, and watching YouTube videos figuring out your car's issue. Starting off, I just recommend you hire a professional to diagnose your car's problems. Here's why. You're going to be bombarded with new definitions, acronyms, and concepts that can overwhelm you as a beginner mechanic. Avoid being overwhelmed at the beginning of your journey. This is going to prevent a lot of frustration and demotivation. Cars these days have complicated systems involving electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, and vacuum systems. Any of these components of a system can break, and you can waste tons of time chasing an issue by testing all of these different system components. Now, as you gain more experience, you will become more efficient at researching and diagnosing your issues. Knowing how to research an issue is definitely a skill you will develop, and I'll post a video on how to do that in the future. Look out for that video. However, as a beginner home mechanic who is just starting off, I just recommend you pay someone to diagnose the issue and ask them how they figured out the issue. Ask them to educate you on how and why a component can break. Take notes and appreciate that you paid a professional with years of experience who taught you how to diagnose your car's issue. To make it even more convenient and cost effective, you can hire a mobile mechanic to come to your own car. If you followed this tip, well, congratulations. You just avoided countless hours of research confusion and frustration. Tip number 2. Once you've diagnosed the issue, the next step involves preparing a workstation with the appropriate tools you'll need to do the job to avoid getting stuck in the middle of the job. It's important to understand there are certain tools that will make you 1,000 times more efficient. Let's go through several scenarios. Scenario 1. If you expect to work in the engine bay, make sure to have a full set of ratchet extensions to reach any fastener in a tight environment. Crowfoot wrenches are great in tight spaces too because they'll allow you to access fasteners that have little room on top of it. If you work on certain cars such as German cars, expect these cars to have special fasteners. For example, if you're working on a BMW, make sure to have a full set of Torx bits. If you're working on a Volkswagen or an Audi car, make sure you have triple spline bits, as well as reverse triple spline bits. It's going to save you so much time during the job if you have a set of these bits ready to go. Another scenario, if you happen to be working on brake and clutch lines, use flare nut wrenches to give you a better grip and avoid routing off the nuts on these lines. To sum up, do your research and understand where you will ultimately end up working on the car. Whether it's in the engine bay, in the trunk, or even underneath the car, think ahead of what tools you'll need and have them ready. Tip number 3. Use a mobile service cart to lay down your tools, sockets, and fasteners next to you. Avoid laying down tools and fasteners on the floor. You risk tripping over your tools and losing your fasteners if you put them on the floor. A mobile area will accelerate your work because you don't spend time hunting for a certain tool or fastener that's spread around the garage. Ultimately, you'll end up wasting a lot of time during the repair. I highly recommend you get a 3-tier service cart that you can push around your garage. This service cart should contain everything you need in order to complete the repair on hand. I believe your service cart should be your most used item throughout your journey as a mechanic. Tip number 4. Now, once you have your service cart, you need to develop a system to always put your tools and fasteners in a specific place. You may have heard this concept called mise en place, which is a French term in the culinary world that means everything in its place. It's a system that cooks use when prepping and cooking food, where they contain their food and knives in specific and consistent areas at their workstation. This allows the chef to work faster because they don't spend needless time fighting a certain knife or an ingredient at their station. Well, Mise en place also works for mechanics as well. On your service cart, decide where you want to store your sockets, wrenches, ratchets, and fasteners consistently, and lay down your tools in the consistent spot for all repairs. The key here is to contain these tools in key spots so you don't waste time finding them on the cart. I store ratchets and wrenches to the side here, and all of my sockets and fasteners here on magnetic bolts. For my bigger tools, I put them on the second level of the service cart. And my third level contains my gloves, bags, pins, and any other lubricants that I may need for the job. I also make a point where I disassemble the sockets and extensions every time I lay them down on my cart. This allows me to quickly assemble my next tool configuration, as well as locate all of my sockets, because my sockets will always go back to this one particular area on my service cart. Bonus tip: always have a small flathead screwdriver on you, because this small screwdriver will act as an extension of your fingers to pry out electrical connectors, provide leverage, and access hard to reach areas. You'll save so much time searching for a small screwdriver if you have this on you at any given time. Tip number 5. Take pictures of the part before you remove it from the car. Heck, take a video of it. It is absolutely frustrating when you put a part back onto the car and you forgot how the part was supposed to be installed. Furthermore, a part may contain different fasteners in its mounting points, so it's crucial that you take detailed pictures to save time. Once you have that part out, you can either reinstall the fasteners on the mounting points on the car or store them in bags with clear labels. The extra time you take to document and store your fasteners is well worth it, because you can quickly reference your notes and install the part back on the car rather quickly. Well, there you have it. Those are my 5 top tips that will help you develop great habits, ultimately helping you repair your car faster. As always, if you enjoyed this content, hit that like button so I know to make more of these videos, and smash that subscribe button to get notified on the next video.